Frank Shamrock has opened up about his battles with CTE. These are a couple screenshots, and I think we should just read these. This is like the tweet caption: phenomenal and heartbreaking work from Ben Folks MMA on Frank Shamrock. Hard not to wonder how many more of these stories we'll be hearing as MMA's early generations grow older. Yeah, because that early generation, it's like the first generation of the UFC is now coming to that age. That's why you see it a lot, even like BJ Penn and shit like that, bro. Here's the story. There's also something else, and he's still not entirely sure what to do with this. Lately, Shamrock has been starting to worry about his brain. Something is off, he says. He's forgetful, losing his keys, his phone. He's had some difficulty with depth perception, which he says led to a couple recent car accidents. He's gone in to see neurologists, and he's done some testing. No one's given him any definitive answers yet, but he suspects that the bill for all his years of fighting and some of the more extreme years of training might be finally coming due. The thing is, I was always so conscious of protecting my brain, he says. I learned head movement, defense, all because I didn't want to take too many shots to the head. But I feel like I started noticing this a few years ago, and I had to call my family and be like, I'm sorry, but my brain is not right. It's not right. Then there was this other thing, an accident that happened last year. His teenage daughter's bike was stolen. He had a tracker on it, and he followed it to the location highlighted on his phone. He even called the cops to come help him look for it. I remember the cop telling me, you need to leave now, but I was like, this makes no sense. The tracker says the bike is right here. I can hear the beep. Next thing I remember, I'm in a mental health center, drugged out of my mind. He'd been there for 7 hours, he later learned. He had no memory of it. He says he contacted the police department for information on how and why they take him there. I get a reply back from the sergeant. He's like, you were driving. I have no memory of it. So I asked if they could send me the video. He said, nope, go through a lawyer. So I hire a lawyer, spend $10,000, and I get the video. There I am. I'm driving like he said. No memory of it. It's beyond scary. Wow, that's crazy. I believe him. Yeah, man, this is a tough one. I think I almost want to read the whole article. Oh my goodness gracious. Bro, he opens up about molestation and stuff. The story of how he ended up there is toward the end of one of his many stays in various youth correctional facilities. He got essentially paroled into Bob Shamrock's care. This meant living with a bunch of other boys, all of them troublemakers and youthful criminals of one type or another. Bob's ranch sat on the rural edge of Northern California, closer to Reno than to Sacramento. Frank was glad to go. Couldn't believe his luck, actually. Here was this older man, tough and serious but kind and honest. He'd always wanted boys of his own but couldn't have them, so he started this ranch where he took young men who were on a perilous path and tried to do a little course correction through discipline and labor and sports and love. He was the first man I ever met who wasn't trying to rob me or molest me or beat me or do me wrong somehow. Just a lovely man, a solid Christian man. He gave me more than any man has ever given me in my life, just by being a good man and saying this is what's right. This is how things work. Bro, I'm literally getting chills reading this right now. Do this and you'll get this. He wanted to help me and he loved me in his own way. It wasn't until I was grown that I could see the love and the pain behind that journey for him. Not everything that happened at Bob Shamrock's ranch was great. In his autobiography, Uncaged, My Life as a Champion MMA Fighter, Shamrock writes about being molested at the ranch when he was 13. A counselor there had recognized his fondness for alcohol and would secretly provide it to him. After he got me drunk, he would suck me off, quote unquote, from Shamrock. I was only 13. I hadn't really had sex with a girl yet. I had all kinds of ideas in my head about sex being wrong and dirty. I knew that what he was doing to me was wrong, but I didn't know what to do about it. I could have told somebody, but who would I tell? He was a trusted employee of the Shamrock Ranch who had been there for years, and I was some punk kid who was always in trouble. Bro, that's why you gotta be suspicious of people who, like, I don't know. I know that it's a nice thing too, but I always found it like you gotta have adults working at schools and shit like that, right? Like high schools, middle schools, elementary schools. But you gotta imagine that some fucking perverts try to get those jobs to be around kids. And this is the same thing. A pervert going and getting a job at a ranch where a guy houses basically like foster kids who are fucking 13 years old. That's disgusting. That counselor went there to molest. But yeah, Frank had sexual relations with a male camp counselor before he had any with a woman. That's insane, man. That's so fucking dirty, bro. That's so fucking dirty for an adult to do that to a kid. That disgusts me on so many levels, bro. That shit infuriates me.